Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
According to the company Gypsoil, their product gypsum is a soil amendment used by corn, soybean, alfalfa, cotton, and other crop growers to increase crop productivity. I recently attended the Midwest Soil Symposium to discover what gypsum can do for Kansas producers.
We've been working with gypsum for 12 years now. I began working in 2002, and so we've had a lot of experience with many different sources of gypsum. Our primary source today is flue gas desulfurization gypsum, which comes from the power utilities when they scrub sulfur out of their flue gases. And the product is a very fine, very reactive product, very uniform in particle size. Very clean from the standpoint of impurities and metals, and so when we use it on our farm fields, we can expect to have a very uniform application. It's very predictable in terms of how the product will release in the soil and how it will change the soil chemistry and ultimately make a difference in the soil properties. Probably the biggest variable for gypsum would be the amount of moisture that's in the material, and that varies. That can vary from 8% to perhaps as high as 15% moisture content based on the production facility itself.
Gypsum works best in a long-term engagement with the soil. Eventually, it can change the actual chemistry of the soil and improve it for Kansas producers.
What we're finding from the response from the growers is that the early adopters, the ones who've only used it for a short time, are beginning to see some benefits from the product in terms of changes in their soils, changes in how their operation works based on that soil change, as well as the yields from the crops. We find that the longer term users who've used it, let's say more than 4 or 5 years, they're seeing a greater amount of response to the crop, to the gypsum. And that's just simply because gypsum is changing soil chemistry, which changes soil structure, which ultimately changes soil biology. So it's a long-term project that requires some time to make those changes that ultimately then the crop responds to that. From that point of view, then, we are educating growers on what to expect from gypsum, how to use it best, and then how to manage that in terms of looking for changes, perhaps in some cases even changing some of their management practices to compensate for the improvement in the soil properties themselves. So these are some of the things we're learning, we're sharing with the grower, and quite frankly, gypsum is new enough that most growers are not aware of a lot of information about it. So we're really reaching out, bringing leadership and information to the grower in the market for that very purpose. We have a website. It's gypsoil.com, and it is a very involved, full website that has a large library of information about gypsum across much of our market areas, segmented by market areas. And in there are contact information for our company. We have an array of sales reps now across our market area, and so their information is there as far as contacting.
For more on Gypsoil, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Stay tuned for more on Gypsoil after the break.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.